Hey folks, Jeff here at Back to Country. I'm running solo today. Lorena had to run back to the city and she got out of here just in time, as yesterday we had weather roll in. We got rain most of the day. Last night it turned to freezing rain and temperature dropped down to about 25 degrees. This morning it's was pretty cold and it's warmed up a bit now to about 44 degrees. However, the wind's blowing a little bit and that wind chill is awful. Anyway, we still got work to do, so I quit counting days on what we're doing on the shop build, but we have been working through our punch list and just trying to get some things done. So I figured today I might as well get started on this end wall over here. The challenge that we've got to this end wall, as you can see, we've got it held in place right now with the straps. It has cable braces that normally go on that. You can see the cutouts where the strap is connected. Unfortunately, the straps or the cables that go through here go right through the center of these purlin or girts. So we've got to drill holes in the girts where the cables cross. And the only information they give you on this is they tell you to center your holes. So those are 8-inch girts, purlins, whatever. They're 8 inches wide, so we should be centering that hole at around 4 inches. And that's all fine and dandy, but they don't tell us anything about, you know, the placement of the holes. It says field cut, field drilled, field placed, whatever, which means we got to figure it out and do it. So what I'm thinking to do is to try to I can't run the cable brace in the regular holes because the I've got these straps in there, but also the holes are in the center of the deal, so they need to go through the center of the girts. Losing my mind today. Anyway, so what I think I'm going to try to do, we've got these braces here, and these braces go onto these C purlins, the end columns, and what they do is they bolt on there, and that's to provide support for the cable braces, so it's not just grabbing onto this lighter gauge purlin. And so if I can get them apart, they stuck together from paint, so we'll have to get them apart. But anyway, what I'm thinking to do is to bolt it like this to the outside, put a couple of bolts in there and use that to hold the cable brace, and then run the cable brace from there up to that corner up there where it goes, and, you know, pull it semi-tight to where we get a straight line. And then I can go ahead and take measurements on the girts and know where those holes need to be. And I think that if I measure from one side going in, so if I'm doing that side, if I measure from the outside in there to where the cable crosses, you know, it'll be roughly in the area of where those straps are. But measure those out, and in theory the other ones should be exactly the same. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but that's what we're going to try to do anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I don't screw it up. So that's the plan. Stick with us. Let's see how it goes. Okay, it didn't go together exactly how we envisioned it, mainly because the spacing of the hole is part way onto the purlin. So normally these brackets fit in there. We weren't able to use those because the spacing is too small, so we just kind of did some backwoods engineering here and got it to hold in place. So the angle of this eye bolt may not be perfect, however it's a round eye bolt and it still should hold the wire pretty close. We've got it tight enough to give us a fairly straight line. So what we should be able to do is mark the spot where it crosses through the purlin, and we're going to drill a 1-inch hole. Now the specs call for a 1x3, so if we use the annular cutters and the mag drill, that means that if we cut one hole at 1 inch, and then on each end of that we cut a 1/2 inch of that hole, so that'll give us 2 inches right there. And then we would need to do the same thing again to get 3 inches. So if we start right on the mark and we cut that 1-inch hole, then we should be able to run the cable through those 1-inch holes if we nail it and get it perfect, and then expand the holes from there for any movement. Now if we don't get it exactly right, then because we only cut the initial hole at 1 inch, 1x1, and the specs call for 1x3, we still have 2 inches of play that we can move either way. So that's at least the theory. Let's see if we can put it into motion. The key will be making sure that we put our mark at the bottom of the ledge, because the hole is going to go through the flat part of the purlin. So if we mark it at the top, we'll be way off. I think it'll work. All right, that's where we're at. Let's see how it goes. Hey folks, Jeff here. Just wanted to provide a little update on how we're doing. So a couple of projects I've been working on. First of all, this end wall and getting the cable bracing in. My original plan, I kind of used it and kind of didn't, so let's talk about that. Okay, so we had to get cable bracing in. This is the only cable bracing in the building that actually goes inside of the girts, which means we had to drill holes and make basically a 1x3 cutout for the cables to pass through, and you can see them going all the way up. So my original plan, I had the yellow straps on there just holding everything as temporary. I tried to use the cables on the outside. That really didn't go well. I put some marks on there. I think that is one of my original marks, and it's pretty close, but when I did it, I just didn't feel that confident in it. So once I did that, I put some marks on there, and then what I did, I put the girt in at the top, and because those are so close to the end, I was able to have a pretty good idea where they went, and a pretty good guess, you know, just going out of the gate. So I went ahead and put the cable through the hole on the top. I actually started on that side, and then I ran it around the outside of the girts and down and into the bottom. Of course, I wasn't able to pull it tight, so there was some sag, and again I had to pretty much guess. So I just tried to like pull each one tight and guess, and in the end, that together with the marks that I put from the first guess and the yellow stripes and everything else gave me a pretty good approximation, and I was able to get those done. And in the end, I'm looking at them right now, and all those cables, while they're not perfectly centered in the holes, they're pretty close to center of the holes, so they're not touching, which I guess is the goal. So I'm gonna say it all came out pretty good. So happy with that. Still got some work to do on this end wall, just plumbing and leveling and everything. Mainly it's just making sure, for example, you can see here this C-purlin just barely sits outside of the concrete, so I'm not sure if that can move in any further or not. And then you want to line up the purlins so that the edges, you know, all the edges are plumb. And if we look over here, for example, at that one right there, you can see it's off quite a bit. So, you know, we'll have to loosen all those bolts and kick it to the outside. They do have some play in it, so it'll probably be okay. And yeah, get everything, like I say, plumb, level, square, whatever. We'll get her done. So that's one project. Again, happy with the progress. Going well. The other project was continuing to work on expanding this door. So remember, I had this door as a 12-foot door. Here's a couple of bolts that I ground off. So I just got done grinding all this concrete. I used those diamond cup wheel to grind it because there's a ramp right there, and so I wanted that ramp to continue all the way to the edge of the door. So I added a foot basically to each side. That gives us a 14-foot door opening. So now what remains is I've got to drill the anchors. So we started drilling the anchors on that side. It didn't go so well. I got one in not even close to how far I wanted it, and I'm not happy with it. I started drilling the other hole, and you know, basically the same problem. You can see how much bolt I've got sticking out there. Not happy with that at all. That's an 8.5-inch bolt, so it's still in the ground 5-6 inches, but I wanted it further. Problem is we hit rebar, and when we started drilling the second hole, we hit rebar again, and I didn't have the right kind of bit. So we ordered I don't know, Diablo Demon rebar Demon or something like that. They're basically a 4-tip masonry bit that's supposed to chew through rebar as well. So once Lorena returns, she'll bring that with her. It has arrived at the house, and so we also had to order a new drill as well because it's a SDS type drill, and all I have is chuck drills. So we got a SDS Plus. We didn't go for the Max, didn't think we needed it. The SDS Plus I felt was good enough, and we bought the cheapest one we could find. Well, I don't know if it was the cheapest one, but it's about $100 on Amazon, and it had good reviews, so I'm sure it's made in China, whatever. But for as often as I use it, I'm sure it'll do just fine. So that'll be here, I don't know, another week. When Lorena comes back, we'll be able to finish drilling those holes, and get these door jambs back up with the new header, and we'll have a 14-foot door opening. The other problem we're going to run into is with the trim. Basically, at the top you've got two pieces of trim. You've got some, I think they call it door trim and then wrap trim. So the wrap trim basically covers that whole purlin, and the door trim goes around the outside edge to up to over the 10. And our two pieces for that are 12 foot. We need 14, so we'll have to go buy two 14 footers. That's okay, because we're gonna need more trim for various things that we've still got to add, like windows. We don't have any window trim or anything, so basically down here we're gonna have a window somewhere in the middle here that'll be kind of over the kitchen sink, and then there'll also be a window back here that'll be the bedroom window. And then remember, we're gonna do 2 floors, so the second story will be an office that'll basically be the exact same layout as the bedroom. So somewhere up there we'll want another window as well. So if I frame that in like everything else gets framed in, then I'm going to need 2 more long pieces of this C-purlin, and gonna have to do some different clips and pieces like that where these girts bolt to the purlin, and we'll have to figure that out. So pretty sure I can get all that stuff either from Metal Mart or Mueller, and I'm pretty sure it'll probably cost me a fortune, but it is what it is. We're getting this done, and we're getting it done the way we want it done, so that's what matters. If we spend a little extra money along the way, that's life.